It's Thursday, January 12. In the headlines locally, Reggae Month preparations already underway as February draws nearer. In business news, gas prices are down. Regionally, in Guyana, 1.3 billion barrels in Exxon Mobil offshore oil field to add recoverable oil reserves to Guyana's Suriname Basin. Internationally, Prince Harry's memoir is officially released and is already at the top of the bestsellers list for online retailer Amazon. In sports, NXT contenders go up to fight it out as they move towards vying for the NXT North American title. This is the news on PBCJamaica. I'm Brittany Clark. Planning for the highly anticipated Reggae Month is now underway, says Mayor of Kingston Senator Councillor Delroy Williams. February has been designated Reggae Month, and a series of activities to celebrate the month are slated. The mayor, who is overseeing the planning of this year's commemoration activities, said updates will be consistent from the council by way of communication of the planned activities, so that when February begins, the planning will be far advanced. The mayor was updating his fellow councillors during the monthly meeting of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, on Tuesday, January 10. Mayor Williams said the annual celebration, which is an important line item on the KSAMC's calendar of events, will again seek to showcase the best of Jamaica's culture. On January 9, 2008, the government of Jamaica officially declared February as Reggae Month to highlight and celebrate the significant impact of the music genre on the country's social, cultural, and economic development. In addition, the birthdays of two of reggae music's late icons are commemorated during the month. The Crown Prince of Reggae, Dennis Brown, is celebrated on February 1, and the renowned King of Reggae, Robert Nesta Marley's, on February 6. TikTok, YouTube, and Amazon.com are among the companies rolling out features that blend online sharing and shopping. The latest craze is also destined to run into some limitations. There's early evidence that selling goods over live social networking works beyond the People's Republic. Viewers enjoy interacting with celebrities and so-called influencers, but the ultimate goal is clicks to buy. Social sensation Nizrin, for one, has attracted 500,000 TikTok followers while selling as much as £10,000 or over $12,000 worth of makeup and other products in a single video session. ByteDance-owned TikTok introduced the concept in the United States and Britain to replicate the success of Douyin. Its Chinese sister app enabled goods valued at $119 billion to be sold in 2021. Amazon recently unveiled its own copycat, Inspire. OnlyFans, a video service known for its sexual content, also allows creators to sell personalized merchandise to subscribers. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is making an impassioned plea to motorists to take note of the new date. It will ensure that motorists who break the law will see the immediacy and the full brunt of the legal system, but it will nullify the speculation of corruption. Maya Chung has more.
Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has indicated that motorists using the nation's roadways have until February 1, 2023 to get compliant or feel the full brunt of the law, as a zero-tolerance policy is in effect to stop motorists from abusing the roadways and the laws that govern them in Jamaica. In a presentation in the House of Representatives yesterday, January 11, he said it is alarming that road fatalities are among the leading cause of death, neck and neck with death by illegal firearms. With this fact being logged, this has caused the government to go into overdrive to stop this travesty and stop it now.
Breach of the Road Traffic Act is indeed among the biggest, most significant cause of disorder on our roadways. Indiscipline and disorder on our roadways is a clear and present threat to the lives of Jamaicans and one of the biggest challenges to we face as a society. Road fatality is one of the primary causes of death in the country, second only to the use of illegal firearms, and in particular among our young males. It is for this reason that the Ministry of National Security, in collaboration with Jamaican Consular Force and other stakeholders, set out to address the problem by introducing an effective traffic enforcement system, and especially with the new Road Traffic Act. Because, Madam Speaker, legislation may exist, but unless there is effective enforcement, then it leads nowhere. In order for us to achieve true and lasting behavior change among motoring public, for there to be good order on our roadways that will result in fewer road fatalities, there must be an effective system of enforcement to ensure deterrence. As we seek to improve the efficiency of our traffic enforcement operations, the major technology transformation branch of the Ministry of National Security has led the process of transforming the traffic ticketing management system into an end-to-end digitized ticketing system. To emphasize, Madam Speaker, the end-to-end digitalization of the ticketing system. The system which we are looking at enhancing and improving for implementation has been around since 2010. In fact, it was procured in 2009, but has never been effectively implemented. And in fact, because of that, we've been looking at replacing it very early. The e-ticketing system is indeed a fully integrated, modernized mobile traffic ticketing system that supports all the agents that are involved in traffic enforcement. This, of course, has necessitated significant enhancement of the old system acquired in 2009 because it was sitting around being partially used. But the result of that partial implementation was that few motorists were held accountable.
Dr. Chang told the Senate that there are 5 critical agencies involved in the enforcement of the Road Traffic Act, and this is the year that they will all be harnessed in cooperation, as the government will no longer be tolerating the issues caused by Road Traffic Act infringements beyond 2023.
Police, which is the principal and on the forefront, in a sense, one of the principal agencies. There's the tax office, there is the Island Traffic Authority, and there's, of course, the court system, because breach of the Road Traffic Act is essentially a criminal act, but it is one that is designed to be managed a bit differently it's not a felon. And the ticketing system is in place to ensure that it is managed a bit differently. And you'll find that under the existing system, very little of those tickets were adjudicated effectively or prosecuted, and therefore there's a significant backlog, as I mentioned later. The end-to-end digitization of ticketing system will go live on February 1, 2023.
For the news on PBCJ, I am Maya Chung.
Time now for the business report with Danita Rodney.
Motorists will pay less for gas when they go to the pumps on Thursday, as the state-owned oil refinery Petroleum says down by $4.50. E1087 will sell for $158.91 per liter, and E1090 will sell for $162.88. Automotive diesel oil will sell for $204.34. and the ultra-low sulfur diesel will sell for $212.26. The price of kerosene will go down by $1.91 to sell for $210.04. In the meantime, up by $1.06, propane cooking gas will sell for $61.99, and butane will sell for $70.08 per liter. Remember that retailers will add their own markups to the announced prices. The Jamaica Business Development Corporation (JBDC) has embarked on a project valued at $72,000 to strengthen the cultural and creative industries (CCI) in Jamaica. Speaking at a JS think tank on Wednesday, JBDC's Deputy Chief Executive Officer Harold Davis says an important aspect of the project is to do an assessment of CCIs and its contribution to GDP.
We are doing an economic impact assessment of the creative industries, and that will give us, like I mentioned before, a specific value of the industry. What's the contribution to GDP? What's the contribution to employment in particular? It will also give us some sub-data as well, like the value and importance of some of this to some social development as well. And it also will give us specific recommendations for the sector. Now, it's important that we begin to formally understand the value of the sector and the contribution to GDP. As I've mentioned before in other interviews, if you can't measure the particular product or the particular industry, it's difficult to map its progress, it's difficult to assess return on investment, it's difficult even to know specifically how to invest in those particular industries, and that's our goal.
Mr. Davis says the ultimate goal of the project is to adapt to the UK system that understands the value of CCIs. Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Wednesday, January 11, the US dollar sold for an average of $154.02. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $113.59. The pound sterling traded for $183.90. And the euro sold for $168.29. In GSE trading, the GSE index declined by 2,841 points. The junior market index declined by 46 points. The combined market index declined by 3,078 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by 3,634 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 105 stocks, of which 35 advanced, 58 declined, and 12 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited. Stocks declined for Virgin Paints Jamaica Limited, Blue Power Group Limited, and CAC 2000 Limited. Trading firm were Barita Investments Limited, Carreras Limited, and Siboney Group Limited. The overall volume leaders were Jamaica Boilers Group with over 3 million units, Consolidated Bakeries Jamaica Limited, and Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with over 2 million units. In regional stocks, on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, Calypso Macro Index Fund was the only active security posting a volume of 248 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, Epley Caribbean Public Fund Value Fund was the sole security trading over 30,000 shares. In regional business, Guyana's government hopes to award oil contracts for some 14 new oil blocks up for grabs by the end of May 2023. With the auction ongoing, however, President Dr. Irfan Ali disclosed that he is engaging the Indian government on their possible participation in the ongoing auction for some new blocks offshore Guyana.
We have specific discussions that will take place around the energy sector. The energy sector, as I said, is a key sector for Guyana, and as you know, because of what is taking place in that sector, the speed of development, there are many international players that are looking to Guyana as an important partner in fulfilling their energy needs and meeting their energy needs. And definitely, Prime Minister Modi and I discussed the possibilities of further cooperating, further strengthening our relationship in this area, but more importantly, looking at the ways in which we can have stronger government-to-government partnership in the sector itself. Not only And the point here is not only about the crude oil lift, but to see whether there is enough appetite in the system to participate in this bid round for oil blocks, and also to look at the government-to-government partnership. It's not only oil, but it's a possibility that will arise out of gas development too in the future.
In international business, U.S. stocks ended with strong gains as investors were optimistic ahead of an inflation report that could give the Federal Reserve room to dial back on its aggressive interest rate hikes.
The Dow rose 0.8%, the S&P 500 jumped more than 1.25%, while the Nasdaq gained 1.75%. The much-anticipated CPI report due on Thursday is projected by economists polled by Reuters to show U.S. consumer prices likely grew 6.5% in December, down from a 7.1% rise in November. Christian Ledoux, Director of Investments at Cap Trust, said a softer inflation report should allow the Fed to ease up on monetary policy.
We have a much better labor cost index in the last report, and we're coming up on a CPI that I think the most economists believe will be softer and will give the Fed a little bit more pressure to stop raising. And you're seeing it in the bond market. The response is quite strong. The 10-year has dropped down a couple of tenths of 1%, and it's a strong indicator that the market believes the Fed should stop sooner than they are at least saying to the public.
Interest rate-sensitive mega-cap growth stocks posted big gains on Wednesday, with Microsoft, Alphabet, and Tesla all rising at least 3%. Shares of Amazon jumped nearly 6%, rising for the fourth session in a row. Embattled retailer Bed Bath & Beyond extended its recent gains despite bleak quarterly results, as a meme stock rally continued to lift it and other popular names among retail traders, including GameStop and AMC Entertainment. Shares of Goldman Sachs rose as it began laying off staff on Wednesday, according to a source familiar with the matter, in a sweeping cost-cutting drive. The big U.S. banks kick off earnings season on Friday and are expected to report lower quarterly results as risks of a recession rise due to monetary policy tightening.
In market data for oil rose more than 1%, supported by optimism over China's demand outlook and hopes that upcoming inflation data from the United States will point to a slower increase in interest rates. Brent crude rose $1.18 to $83.85 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude gained $1.15 to $78.56. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, a fifth major offshore oil field is being developed by a consortium led by Exxon Mobil at an estimated cost of $12.7 billion, which will add another 1.3 billion barrels of recoverable oil reserves to the 10 billion barrel Guyana-Suriname basin, the Guyanese government said on Tuesday. The information shared by the Loop news source indicated that the Uaru-Mako project, currently under review, could come on stream in the next 3 years, adding as many as 63 more wells to the 30 already drilled in the Stabuk block by the consortium, which also includes Hess Corporation and China's CNOOC. With 2 fields in production and 2 more approved, the consortium is the first among many multinational entities seeking to exploit the massive basin, which promises to transform 2 small South American nations into some of the world's largest fossil fuel producers. Guyana's Environmental Protection Agency released the oil field specifications on Tuesday for public review, saying that Uaru-Mako has at least 1.3 billion barrels of sweet light crude to add to the more than 10 billion barrels in recoverable reserves the consortium has estimated so far. In the Bahamas, U.S. bankruptcy court proceedings for fallen crypto company revealed $5 billion in liquid assets were recovered, and around $170 million in assets were seized in the Bahamas. Berthany McDermott has the latest.
FTX has recovered more than $5 billion in liquid assets, but the company's attorney Andy Diedrich telling a U.S. bankruptcy judge the extent of customer losses in the company's collapse is still unknown. But Diedrich telling the court the $5 billion recovered does not include assets seized by the Securities Commission of the Bahamas. FTX's attorney estimated the seized assets were worth as little as $170 million, while Bahamian authorities put the figure as high as $3.5 billion. He said the seized assets are largely comprised of FTX's proprietary and liquid FTT token, which is highly volatile in price. He also told the court the company plans to sell non-strategic investments that had a book value of $4.6 billion. The U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission has estimated missing customer funds at more than $8 billion. The company, which was valued at $32 billion just a year ago, filed for bankruptcy protection in November as U.S. prosecutors accused founder Sam Sam Bankman-Fried of orchestrating an epic fraud costing investors, customers, and lenders billions of dollars. In addition, some equity investors were disclosed in a Monday court filing, including American football star Tom Brady, Brady's former wife, and New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. Bankman-Fried pleaded not guilty in a Manhattan federal court last month after he was indicted for allegedly stealing customer deposits to pay debt from his hedge fund, Alameda Research, and lied to equity investors about the now failed crypto exchange's financial condition. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
One of Belize's oldest allies has come forward with assistance for hurricane victims, as well as help to upgrade the protocol fleet at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The government of South Korea, which shares 35 years of diplomatic ties with Belize, has provided hurricane aid in the form of a check worth $200,000 for the vulnerable class that suffered the most damage during the passage of Hurricane Lisa on November 2nd of last year.
I feel privileged to be here to donate this 4-vehicle fleet to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Immigration of Belize. This is a symbol of our 35 years of friendship. In addition, as a responsible member of the international community and a friend to Belize, Korea is supporting the recovery efforts of the most affected victims by Hurricane Lisa. A cash transfer of US $100,000 is to provide timely and effective humanitarian assistance to the people of Belize. The Republic of Korea will remain committed to working together with the Ministry of Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs of Belize, and the World Food Program to this end.
We want to thank you very particularly for the support of this Hurricane Lisa cash relief program. We also want to acknowledge the World Food Program. The program has already started. There have been a number of recipients already, and if we can continue, it is only a good thing. So thank you very, very much. We have had much assistance and many great partnerships, including the partnership from our friends in the Republic of Korea. And we are extremely, extremely grateful.
We have the chairmanship of SICA for the next 6 months. We have the first delegation arriving this weekend so that the vehicles will be put to very good use in transporting our visitors. And beyond the 6 months, we have a very active foreign ministry. And so this will assist us and go a very long way in treating our visitors the way we should.
In international news, Prince Harry's memoir has officially been released, with some shops opening at midnight to meet the demand. The memoir is already top of the best sellers in the UK for online retailer Amazon after days of headline-grabbing claims from leaks ranging from how Prince Harry lost his virginity to claims that he was attacked by his brother Prince William. We join the BBC for more.
The last 24 hours have seen Prince Harry appearing in high-profile interviews in the UK and in the US ahead of the official release of his memoir. Well, there have been plenty of revelations and nothing but silence from Prince Harry's father and brother, King Charles and Prince William. Well, the book is now officially on sale, and our royal correspondent Sarah Campbell is at a bookshop in Piccadilly in central London, where, Sarah, I can see a lot of press. Any customers? It is early. I am caveating that.
Yeah, good morning to you. Here it is. It is on sale. I know it feels like we've been talking about it for days, but this is the first official day of the publication. You're right that there are more press here at the moment. That's partly because Waterstones here in the centre of London haven't opened its doors yet. I can tell you there is one customer who has been waiting outside in some fairly miserable weather for quite a while because she wants to get her hands on a copy of the book. Also, one of our cameramen was at WH Smith in Victoria Station at about midnight, and he said there were about 4 customers there waiting at midnight and about 30 members of the press. Just to give you an idea if this is a press sensation as much as anything else. But I should say Waterstone's saying this is the biggest pre-order that they've had in the past, or one of the biggest for a decade. It's currently #1 on the pre-order list for Amazon. So clearly there is a public interest in getting hold of copies of this book. And we were talking about it yesterday. I mean, the revelations that have come through, not only in the various television interviews that Prince Harry has done to publicise his book, but also the extracts themselves. You'll remember that despite there being a multi-million pound secret operation by the publishers to try and make sure that none of these copies got out, there were some leaked copies. And in Spain last week, several bookstores actually put them out on sale a week early. So that explains why there have been so many extracts that have been available for people to read. So now, as I say, you can read them for yourself. I can tell you it's just over 400 pages long. It is dedicated to Meg and Archie and Lily, and of course my mother. It starts, the first page is a meeting that Harry has with his father and his brother shortly after the funeral of Prince Philip back in 2021. And as we know from all the extracts, there's lots of very personal detail. This is Harry's story in Harry's words. Neither Buckingham Palace nor Kensington Palace have commented, but if people want to read it for themselves, they now can.
Sarah, thank you very much. Sarah Campbell there at a bookshop in London. Not quite opened its doors yet, that's why it's so quiet in there.
In sports, we head to the USA where NXT's Tony D'Angelo is defending his honor against opponent Dijak as they try to eliminate each other for the NXT's North American title. The NXT Championship is a main event title in the new WWE introduced in Season 9, replacing the DCO World Championship. That's the news on PBCJ. I am Brittany Clark. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.